Good day everyone, and today I'll be reviewing a car audio player, a JVC KD-X220. It's a car audio player, a digital media receiver as it is called. It takes in input from radio, USB and auxiliary input. Do note that this player is a budget player which does not place any CD as compared to conventional car player. So as it is in the budget range, there's also a few of competitors that are running into this range at a very competitive price, I'll say, which is Sony and Kenwood. So out of the three competitors, I had opted for JVC. Basically is due to its customizable features, which is far more superior than its competitor, I would say. One of the point here will be the equalizer preset that comes with JVC. The JVC unit has a 12 preset itself. Two of them are user customizable preset, which is better than Kenwood unit, which has 9 preset and one user preset equalizer, and Sony has only 8 of the preset. Besides the equalizer preset that matters, JVC also allows subwoofer output through its rear. This type of configuration is not achievable in this Sony and Kenwood unit, and it's even less configuration option for its rear pre-out. Next, the display of the JVC is also customizable in terms of the brightness itself. The key button area and the display area can be separately configured of its brightness, so which may suit different user needs. The JVC unit is also Bluetooth ready unit as compared to the other Kenwood and Sony unit, which won't support Bluetooth at all. However, the Bluetooth adapter is going to be quite pricey and I'm not going to use it, but it will be an added advantage for me to choose JVC when weighting up the advantages here. Besides that, it is also noted that the JVC and Kenwood supports FLAC, MP3 and WMA. However, Sony is only going to support MP3 and WMA files, so this puts Sony to be a far less advantage here, I'll say. With the comparison done, I'll proceed to review the settings that's provided with this unit. The source button is conveniently placed in the middle of the unit and it's easy to just toggle the source. So as we can see here, the sources provided are FM, AM, shortwave 1, shortwave 2 and auxiliary input. And to toggle between each sources, a 3-second delay is introduced. This enables us to quickly switch through the sources within 3 seconds without following the order, so this will makes switching of the sources to be quite handy. Next, we have a look on the primary inputs available to the player, which is the USB input and the auxiliary input. The USB input itself is protected by a flap when it's not in use beside the display and has a guiding white light beside it, probably to assist during dark when you are trying to plug in your USB device. The auxiliary jack, whereas it's not covered by anything, which is my preference, as I'm more of a paranoid person where the cabling plugged into the auxiliary input might just easily damage the flap. So once you plug in the USB key, you should be able to get the music straight away played and the sources straight away changed to the USB. One thing great about this player is also on the rotary button, which is big, bold and a nice finish as well, which makes volume changes and navigating easier than ever and without having to look, I would say. The previous and the next button is also conveniently located, with the next button on the top edge of the player, top left edge of the player to be precise, which makes navigation to next songs very easy. and without looking, which is what a player should be. The response of the player is fast as well. Do reminded the USB key is not a very fast USB key as I'm having here. It's just some kind of gift key which I plug in, so it seems to be the response time is quite fast. Next we'll have a look on the dedicated search button. As you can see, when you search through, click the button, a viewfinder or a magnifying glass symbol will pop up, and you can just straight away scroll to the songs of the same folder, and you can select it right away when you have the right songs that you like. A folder search is also possible in this head unit just by clicking the search button twice. As you can see here, a folder icon will be displayed on the bottom left of the display. So from here we are able to search through the different folders of the USB key, and we can enter to the folder and another subfolder to search for the songs that we would like to hear. So I had chosen the songs, and the folder, the song will be played directly. Say one of the shortcomings of the search mode would be how to back out from the search if you wouldn't like to, if you would like to cancel the search. Yeah. So to cancel the search, you will need to back out all the way until the viewfinder icon is gone. So it depends on how complex your folder hierarchy be. So it might take a long time to just trying to exit from the search mode. But luckily, what we have here is also a shortcut button dedicated number 2 and 3, which brings you to another folder directly. So as we can see here, it's going through a different folder. On a press of a button, button 2, it will decrease the folder number, while pressing the button 3 will increase the folder number in the same folder hierarchy. We also have the repeat available on button 5, and also a dedicated shuffle button on button 4, which you can shuffle through the folder or also throughout the other folder, including other songs in other folder. Here we are trying to do a fast search to have my favorite songs being played. So navigating throughout the system is not that difficult. However, it can be quite tiring if you are driving at the same time finding your songs through using the search function. So on the search button, there's a dedicated display button where you can change the display, whether to display the title of the songs, the folder of the song, the track and playing time of the song, or the day and time of the day. Also conveniently located on the most right of the head unit, the button is a dedicated EQ button where you can toggle between the different 12 presets available on the player. It also gives you a 5-second preview window time, I will say, before it sets the equalizer down, so you can scroll through the equalizer preset that you would prefer for your song. So these are all the different equalizer configuration that's available on the unit. So right below the dedicated search button, there's also the dedicated display button just now, which is not so easy to accessible. A long press of the display button leads you to the different settings that's available in the player. So at here we are able to set our preset EQ, and we are also able to customize a simple equalizer which is user 1 or user 2 up to your liking. For this we are able to set the bass, mid and the treble level, and we have also a Pro EQ that from this unit, which you can set the bass, the specific frequency and its gain, and also is a Q factor itself. Same goes to the treble and the mid. Off 1 and 2, 2 levels of bass boost of low frequency, and we have a loud settings which is off 1 and 2, which base the high and low frequency range, a fader towards the front and the rear of the vehicle, balance to the left and right of the vehicle. The volume adjusts to compensate the different source audio level, probably from FM, AM, aux, auxiliary or your USB input. The end gain settings is also available in low or high power depending on your speaker configuration. Next will be the digital track expander, which is on and off to boost up the high frequency that is lost during the conversion of your music files. We also have a telephone muting if you have connected, which will mute the stereo if a call comes in. And we have a speaker pre-out setting, which is exclusively JVC, which you can change the pre-out and the rear speaker into the subwoofer input. And end of the audio, we come to display. We have the dimmer settings. If you have connected to your headlights, and you should be able to get the dimmer to be working. And now we are setting the dimmer for the button area on day, and we are now setting the display brightness during the day. During the night, it will straight away gives you the preview of your brightness settings once you switch from day to night. So these are the factory values. The scroll settings is also available if you prefer the display to scroll the track title continuously or to just scroll once. And we also have the tuner timer, which you can set any FM, AM or shortwave. You can set the specific frequency which you would like to listen and a certain time, and the radio will straight away jump to the program that you would like to listen during the preset time. And you can set it daily, weekly or once. And that's all for the tuner setting. Next we have the advanced settings available for the player, which is the beep sound that you can hear through your speakers on any press button. we have source selector, which you can enable and disable any sources that you wouldn't like to scroll through, so you wouldn't need to get to so many sources that you wouldn't be using at all. Leave the AM and shortwave off, and others I'll just leave it on as I'm going to use it, so that the unit is able to perform a firmware update. And this head unit is shipped with version 0107, while the latest firmware available at the website will be 0113. The release notes only states that it has improved stability, which perhaps I will upgrade it if I found any fault in the system. Unit setting, we also have the clock setting where we can change the clock time and day. We can also change the clock format in a 12-hour or a 24-hour type, and we can also change the clock sync, where you can sync with your radio station if available, and we can change the clock display, which the head unit will display the clock during off, and lastly will be the demo, which will turn it off for sure. Through all the settings that's available in this head unit, next I also realized that we are able to store the EQ separately on the different sources of the input, such as for the USB. I'm going to fix the EQ as pop, as you see here. And for the next source, the auxiliary input, I'm going to place the EQ as classical, as bass boost, sorry. And for the FM, I would like the EQ to be something else. Let's say we have top for FM. So when I switch to the USB, I can have my EQ preference saved as pop, while for the auxiliary input, I have the EQ settings as bass boost is remembered, and for the FM we have a talk EQ. So we can have a different EQ for different sources, and is just all managed by the head unit, which is something that I would like to look forward to. And by long pressing the source button, we have switched off, and as just now we had turned the clock display on. This will be the clock display. I would say the source button are really conveniently placed in the middle. So the dim settings on the display actually affects the clock display as well, as shown by now. Actually, it's not as dark as it's shown in this video. Probably from your car at night, that would be a better option, I would say. As usual, the fast forward feature is available on the next button by long pressing the next button on the head unit. However, one of the I would say not really a drawback is that during fast forward there will be no sounds to be fed back when you are doing the fast forward. So you might not know how far have you gone through the songs or through the middle of the songs. So that might be one of your concerns. Another reason for me to choose this head unit over the Kenwood one would be the feeling of the button, where the keys on this head unit has some form of travel before it actually takes the input, unlike the stock car radio player, which is very tacky, like when you press the button you straight away registers an input. This JVC unit requires some form of travel like your keyboard before it actually enters the input, which is slightly different from Kenwood, as the Kenwood unit itself, the button is very tacky. This will give some kind of a soft and firm feeling on the buttons. With the unit being turned off, the unit primarily focuses on the black design, flat black design with a chrome accent, which suits any vehicle, but will come in smoother and blend in smoother in a dark dashboard type of vehicle, I would say. And that's all I would like to share with you of my personal review on this JVC KD-X220. Thank you for watching.